love Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is that show that no one really knows about. Heck, I didn't even know who they were until I hopped on the HBO Max and saw that they made a show about them. So I sat down and I watched the pilot episode, and I was amazed. And after watching that intro to Doom Patrol, I said to myself, wow, maybe we finally got something good. Maybe we finally got a good DC property. And so I watched the pilot episode, and it was beautiful. See, Doom Patrol isn't an action TV show like other shows or movies. It's not about beating up the bad guy or saving the day necessarily. It's not a gritty action movie where our two main heroes fight each other. I'm looking at you, Batman v Superman. The things that I love about the show: the effects, the characters, the script, the story, the action, and the writing. Let's get into the story. So the story of Doom Patrol is pretty simple. It's not really an action show like I mentioned earlier. The story is about family. The story is about coming to terms with the things that have happened in your life and moving on. It's about trust, and it's about loving one another. In the story, we follow 6 characters: Cliff, which is the robot man, Rita, Jane, and Larry, Cyborg, and then the Chief. The Chief is kind of like their captain, almost like Charles Xavier in the X-Men, which is actually what Charles Xavier is based on. But anyways, Cliff is the robot man. He was a famous race car driver and world-renowned for his race car driving. One day he was in a terrible car accident that left him just a brain, basically. The Chief found him and put his brain inside of a robot body so then he may live again. Cliff, obviously horrified at this, that he's a robot, becomes depressed for many years, but moves into the Doom Manor with all the rest of the people. Larry was a famous pilot who was sent up into space for the first time, a part of a SpaceX program to see if we could survive in space. He was merged with something in space called the Negative Spirit, and his body was burnt and fried, and he crash landed down. The Negative Spirit makes him basically immortal while it's inside of him, but while it's not inside of him, Larry basically dies, or kind of goes to sleep because he's dreaming. Rita was a famous actress and fell into the water one time and was, while on set, and was merged with some kind of mutant gene, I guess. Well, I guess you can't really say mutant because it's DC, but anyways, that turned her entire body to goop whenever she gets self-conscious or stressed. And then that leaves me with Jane, my personal favorite character, or Crazy Jane. Jane in this story has, I can't remember how many exactly personalities, but she's got, 64 personalities, and each of them with their own individual power. Jane is the primary, and there's 2 other primaries throughout the show. You don't meet them until later. But Jane can call upon these powers at will unless these personalities don't want to come out. So those are our main characters. So without hopping into any spoilers, because I really don't want to spoil the show, because I really want any of you who are interested in this show to really go watch it, because it's a great show. It's beautifully crafted. So moving on to the plot of the show. The plot of the show is pretty simple. These 4 characters are all brought together by the Chief, so that way the Chief can kind of make a superhero team. So in the first episode, the Chief is swallowed by a donkey, which is a door. The main villain of the show is Mr. Nobody, and he is kind of trying to bring the team all together because he wants Niles for a mysterious reason. So the entire show is basically just about our characters, or the entire first season is about our characters trying to get Niles back, which is the Chief. Our heroes on the show are then brought through a 12-episode season of weird and wacky adventures where they encounter all sorts of people, like mineral, animal, vegetable, mineral man, to Nazis, to cults. It gets pretty weird. But this is all to get the Chief back because they believe him to be kind of like their savior. He needs to answer a bunch of questions that they all have, and he's the only person who can help all of them. They truly believe this. So the entire first season is about them trying to get him back. Like I said before, I don't really want to hop into spoilers. So to avoid spoilers, we're just going to talk about everything else. The effects. The effects in this show are so beautiful. That's because they're all real, other than a couple things. For one, Jane's personalities and all the cloning technology used is obviously CGI, and the scenes where the personalities that can fly and do stuff that you can't really do practically are obviously CGI. Another character who's CGI'd is Rita. Her transformation from her human form to her goop form is definitely CGI'd and clearly seen. And you can obviously tell that they didn't have a big budget to work with here, but that's okay because they don't use CGI for every single scene. Cliff's robot suit, entirely practical. Yeah, that's a guy inside of there, not just a voiceover. Also, Cyborg, completely practical. I mean, sure, it looks obviously like, real, but what would you prefer? The Cyborg from the Justice League movie or the Cyborg from Doom Patrol? Any day of the week, I would take the Cyborg from Doom Patrol just because it's real. I can touch that. The performances. The performances in the show are really freaking good. It's been a long time since I've seen a DC property where the actors look and sound and feel like they're actually enjoying themselves. You can clearly tell that the guy who's playing the main villain, which is Mr. Nobody, is having a blast. Now, Mr. Nobody is my favorite villain right now because he's just evil, and I love evil villains. I love whenever a villain is just evil because they are. His motivations are clear. He just wants to see everyone else fail because that's what everyone wanted to see to him back before he didn't have any superpowers. But the performances in this show aren't stiff, they aren't blocky, the script flows regularly, the characters talk like they're out of time, which I love. Rita talks like someone from the 50s, she talks like an actor from the 50s, even though it's in the modern day. Larry uses terms and whatnot and stuff like that from like older times, the 70s, the 60s, because that's what time period he's from. They've been isolated in the mansion for so long that they're not talking like humans anymore, they're talking like people from their time period, and you can see that, and I love it. I love that Cliff is like a old country man. He's a southern man. He's beer and trailers type of guy. He loves to race. He loves America. He's the American figurehead. I love that Larry talks like someone from the 70s. I like that that's how he acts. He acts like a dad, and I love that. See, Larry goes through an interesting story. Before he was merged with a negative spirit, he was gay, and he was trying to hide a gay affair that he had with his true love. He was trying to hide it from his wife by saying late nights with the boys or something like that, something that I would say, because he's scared. He doesn't want to come out to his family because he's scared that no one will accept him. But that's what this show is all about. This show is about overcoming fear and not caring what people say to you or think about you. And I think that's a powerful message that we can all benefit from. This show isn't about beating up people. I told you that already. It's not a superhero show. This show is special. It's a family show. This show is about learning to overcome and accept diversity and be one with it. This show isn't one of those shows that you can just pick up and watch brainlessly because it's a dumb action show. No, this is one of those shows that you have to watch with an open mind. You have to be aware of this show. So please, do yourself a favor, subscribe to HBO Max, or heck, I'll give you my subscription if you'll just watch the 2 seasons of Doom Patrol. Please. It's worth your time, and it's so good. But if you don't like it and that's not your kind of show, then don't feel forced to. But if you're interested at all in that show, please do yourself a favor and watch it. Hey guys, it's me again. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It took a while to make and it took a lot of effort, but I really like making these videos, and this is only my second one, but I appreciate anyone who watches these videos. Thank you for sticking around. If you want updates and whatnot on the channel, please be sure to follow my TikTok. It's Mr. Movies, no capitals, no spaces, a dot in between Mr. and Movies. And yeah,
Really, really love you guys, and thank you.